High school teachers. What juicy drama is going around your high school? Last year, a kid shoved a lollipop into some other kid's ear. It busted his eardrum as it started bleeding, and supposedly he couldn't hear properly for the rest of the semester. Some kid brought a knife and a list of people he wanted to kill yesterday, so that's just about how things are going. Middle school here. Us teachers noticed that the female students had been highly interested in each other, and we joked with one another that we thought experimentation happened in college. So, a parent arrives to ask her daughter's teachers, principal, and counselor for advice on what to do with her child. Come to find out, her daughter had not been coming home at night because she was participating in lesbian orgies with her friends. Not a teacher. It's support for a school. Being as unspecific as possible. But a kid had his school provided tablet rescinded for having DDoSing software, network penetration software, and even software for darksing on it. This kid is 11-year-old. Anyways, he kept coming back into the office asking for his account tablet back, which was obviously a no. Then he suddenly stopped. We thought he'd just given up. Nope. Turns out him and his family have upped and left to Iraq. Welp. That is both unexpected and terrifying. Not a teacher, but at my former high school the vice principal recently got fired for breaking into people's houses and stealing prescription pills. Every time I got in trouble in high school he said that I should look up to him because he was a respectable adult with a good job. LOL. Man. High schools in other countries have some intense drama. Back when I was in high school in New Zealand, the most dramatic thing I can remember happening is someone drawing an enormous, like 100 meters long dick on our sports field with weed killer. The field was in a lowered area from the main school buildings. You had to take quite a lot of stairs to get to it. So you got a really good view of the whole thing whenever you were at the school and walking past. Middle school teacher here. A left behind 7th grader is announcing her abortion date for April 12th, which led to the question, baby daddy? The answer is some dude from Instagram. Same day 2 8th graders were recorded getting blowers and are now expelled. Some craziness is going down. Edit: I forgot to add that 2 kids brought knives to school thinking that each other were going to stab each other. Then the same day 9 kids were sent home for drinking alcohol out of a water bottle. So that's that. A beloved teacher and coach got charged with ducking a student. The teacher had a wife. The student was a guy. A couple of months after graduation, a friend of mine told me she'd had a 2-year-long affair with her English journalism teacher. Just last year, I had a girl in my 11th grade class. Very bright, studious, had 2 other girls she usually was with, but overall not very noticeable. Thing is, she was absent a lot, to the point where she was only at school for a day a week or less. It was quite troublesome, as her parents didn't ever send a mail or write a note for why she had been gone from school. But as stated earlier, she was pretty smart, so her grades didn't suffer that much. I used to talk to her after classes to ask her what was going on, but she would usually just apologize politely and promise she would do better. Fast forward to around Christmas time and she hadn't been to school for 2 weeks. That month was exam month, and she was missing out on a lot of prep days she needed to be present at. Fed up, I marched to the principal's office and told him her absence was really ruining for her, and that I should call the parents and inform them of the consequences, as is norm in the situation. To my surprise, the principal was completely against it. Turns out, the girl was going to be married away to a man in her homeland against her will that December. The reason she had been gone those 2 weeks was because she had been picked up by child services and had been moved to a safe location. Shortly after, it was revealed she had been absent all those days because her parents wanted her to stay home and take care of them and do chorus. Not because she was sick. She was verbally and physically abused by her parents, and she was constantly monitored, so she couldn't stay at school after hours or do other activities like hang out with friends. She didn't realize any of this was wrong until her friends at school talked to her about it, so this wasn't really drama. but it was quite a shock for me and all her teachers when we were told. It's been a year now, and she's doing great. Her parents have gotten a restraining order, and she got a little dog she saved from a shelter. But it's safe to say that she'll never have the life a normal 16-year-old is supposed to have. And that makes my blood boil. But she is very grateful for her new life, it seems, and she's safe. And that's all that matters. After I graduated, my gym teachers were arrested for having sex with students. The female gym teacher fell in love with one of the boys. Our HS Drama Club is doing a production of The Diary of Anne Frank. Not a teacher, sorry, but my small rural school is pretty wild. This is just a sample of what happened when I was in high school. Freshman year prom turns into a huge debacle. One girl takes a pregnancy test at the dance and is confirmed pregnant, screams at her sister for telling everyone, and gets into a huge catfight on the dance floor. During the fight, one of the tweakers goes through everyone's purses and jackets and steals credit cards and phones, flushing the SIM cards down the toilet. No one would have noticed if he hadn't stopped right outside the door and started smoking on school property. Principal calls the cops and they search him. Dance ended early with a lot of pissed off parents and one pregnant girl. Sophomore year, 2 local guys became teachers just to flirt with the girls. Very obvious favoritism. Following girls home, etc. One of them even flirted with me, and I wasn't a looker at 15 to be honest. They both left after a year, but one of them still has an on-again off-again relationship with a former student. Junior year, the graduating class is salutatory and got pregnant. Super sweet girl, perfect grades, set to go off to a big college, and forgot the condom one time. Allegedly she was already pregnant when she gave her graduation speech, and her parents noticed she was really filling out. She kept the baby, had another with the same guy, and went to a local college to get her degree. She's married to him now, and is doing great. But at the time it was a big scandal. Senior year, my class's valedictorian got away with everything. She had a public relationship with a teacher, cheated on math tests, and was a drunk driver on the weekends. When she was a minor, she dropped out of college after the free year and shacked up with the teacher, but left him after he became abusive. She's back home with her crazy mom, taking night classes. The years of partying make her look 42 instead of 22. Crazy, right? But at the end of the day, the shit I went through is nothing compared to what kids do now with Snapchat and social media. Bunnies. A girl came to school one day with 5 bunnies in her book bag, and by the end of the day had sold every bunny for 25 apiece. Every day, teachers would be stopping kids and looking through book bags and lunch boxes. It was chaos, and the bunnies were still being sold. Occasionally you'd see someone with a lump in their jacket with an ear poking out bunny, a cracked lunchbox bunny. Eventually, this turned into a full black market bunny selling ring. The leader had recruited other sellers, and they had designated bunny trading spots. Our school is infamous for gangs and drugs, so this was a pleasant surprise to most. Over time, the bunny selling trickled to a stop, but occasionally one will pop up. And teacher. Apparently a student tried to commit suicide after he passed a video of himself eating beet Thai, expecting it to garner appreciation from his fellow students. It did not. I guess it wasn't a clean ass did not watch it. Obviously, I teach 9th grade. My junior year English teacher loved my high school more than anything. He made it his whole life. After I graduated, our new president-principal combo went through and fired almost all the teachers that student loved, including him. After that he went missing. His favorite book to teach was Into the Wild, and I just know he pulled one of those. He was last spotted leaving church, and then a duffel bag with his wallet and phone were found abandoned on a beach 2 hours from where we lived. Never heard from again. There was all kinds of crazy drama at my school after I graduated though. This was like the least of it. One of my coworkers got fired and got beat the shit out of by a gang of angry parents on an ordinary sunny Tuesday. Turns out this guy was making these kids fight in this sort of tournament. The winners would receive a 10 that semester. Some tough the kids got hurt real bad. He'll never be able to teach again, and he had to leave town because everyone wanted to hurt him. Rumors say that the videos are online, but I don't know, I haven't bothered to look. I do some part-time strength and conditioning coaching with the high school wrestlers. One of them is the cheerleader homecoming queen, somewhat homely, less popular, little brother. Homecoming queen's boyfriend is of course the quarterback homecoming king. Typical high school power couple, right? Well, all was going swimmingly until she was found under the bleachers with the sister of another one of my wrestlers. So the quarterback is now made fun of for turning the homecoming queen lesbian. And both of the wrestler boys frequently hear your sister gets more PSSY than you do. High school kids are cruel, man. The head football coach of my school is currently suspended and being investigated for exposing himself. He got slightly drunk at a football camp, was grilling hot dogs for the players, put his in a hot dog bun, turned around showing every student there, and said this: "You think those are big dogs? Look at this." Consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of Reddit Universe,